This transition is brought to you by the Tile Shop. The Tile Shop is open to both pros and the public with 12 Chicago area locations. Visit tileshop.com. Thanks to our guests today, Mike Florio, Tim Doyle, and Greg Gabriel. Our producers, Jay Zawoski, Brian Gertsch, and Rick Camp. Was Ray Diaz involved there, too? I'm not used to thanking another producer, so Ray
was here.
Okay.
Well, that's what you'll have to get used to.
Yeah.
All of the big resources on the Big Midday Show.
Thanking that extra producer is the thing you really got to work into your routine, Dan.
Joe Ostrowski and David Schuster had updates for us, and tomorrow we are going to be out at Deuces in Wrigleyville for our Dos Equis event. We're going to be joined by Hub Arkush, who's going to be on site with us, and the Athletics NCAA Hoops writer Sam Vicini is going to join us as well. In front of me right now, I see Danny Parkins and
Hello.
Bernstein
He's back.
Hi, fellas.
I'm hoping my voice is going to make it through this.
Yeah, you got to show.
I got a little Joe Cocker going today.
I thought this was the new you. You were bringing this one out.
No, it's exciting to be here. It's a little bit weird to be here today, though. Connor, you and I are home wreckers today. I'm sure you've read that a time or two.
Yes.
And we will tread gently. I think that's probably what you will choose to do. That's what I'll choose to do about that. And I want to thank Matt Spiegel for 5 great years with me between 09 and 14. And I know Danny felt very strongly about Spiegs during his 15 months with him. So it's a weird time. It's a screwed up business when there basically are 14, 16 jobs, maybe 20 really good jobs if you're in sports talk radio in the city. I don't know what other business is like that. I don't know. Maybe is it like being on the Bulls?
Yeah, the NBA.
Is that what it is? It's like
12 guys on the
right number.
sports stations in town.
Yeah.
So when you get if you're on the beach, as I was for almost a couple years, it's going to mean it's somebody else's expense. So you can't help but feel sorrow about that because somebody you care about is gone.
And it puts us all in a very difficult position professionally and emotionally when as dear and important a friend as Jason Goff is, with whom I did work of which I am proud and will remain proud. And I want to be as supportive and open and here with a new partner in Connor McKnight, who I think we're going to do some Gangbusters radio. We got one under our belt, partner.
One done. Stayed up all night.
What a lousy night's sleep. Huh?
We all got crappy sleep.
Nobody slept.
I mean, I feel like I got 6 hours. And that wins? Because I want 9.
I fell asleep late in the fourth quarter of the Bulls game.
Blasted in the fourth quarter.
Because Parkins told me yesterday he wasn't going to watch it, and I said, all right, I'll do all the heavy lifting if we do it.
You got that one dedicated pro here watching Bulls basketball.
Watching Robin Lopez ride the bench.
Woke up at 2, shoulder cancer, keeping me awake. Can't get this little show thing off.
Shoulder cancer?
Shoulder
what do you mean?
I got tears. I've had tears in the right one for 5 years.
You don't mean cancer, though.
No, I don't mean cancer.
Okay.
It's been a few years since you've been around.
Parkins is over here screaming. You get cancer on day one?
I just went through that with a partner.
Shoulder cancer. Yes, you did. Shoulder cancer is Mac speak for a torn, several tears.
Labrum.
Yeah,
I got a labrum, and I've got a supraspinatus in the right shoulder.
Ooh, that's one of the muscles that makes up the rotator cuff.
That's why I haven't gone to the doctor. I don't want to know those things.
You're going to have it, by the way, with your wiffle ball addiction.
It's ruined.
You are seriously going.
I know.
You probably have tears already.
But I can't do it now. I definitely have tears. I had a cortisone shot when I was 18, but I can't do it now because then I can't play softball this summer. And I've been doing baseball the last 2 years. I haven't been able to do any of that crap because I've been at the ballpark, and now I get a chance to.
I just think
tough it out.
Needing Tommy John because of wiffle ball is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, it is real stupid, and you'll get a lot more of that over the next couple of weeks.
It's really sports radio of you, though. Mm-hmm. Like, oh no,
yeah,
I play the game.
Yeah, no, I play.
I play wiffle ball.
Sharing UCL surgery stories with guys in the clubhouse. They love that.
Yeah, Matt came in. He
really
had back spasms. We've both had spinal fusion surgery, so we know what Lowry Markkinen is going through right now.
Thing.
It's just relatable.
You know, I've always thought that transition that we've done it in the history of the station, the DNA, and this is some of the realest talk that we do, and some of just the most visceral stuff. And I want to say this too in the outset. To respond to a lot of people publicly privately in social media saying, are you going to be able to deal with McNeil again? You guys always seem to be at each other. You always seem to be in some kind of conflict, or there's always some kind of subtext of resentment. And I will tell you, and I mentioned, the answer is no. It's just not an issue. And part of it is I feel like it's a complete waste of time to worry about anything that's happened in the past or anything that's happened with previous stations, previous incarnations, previous shows, or previous partners. The answer is, from my end, in case anybody's curious, a resounding and heartfelt and sincere, I've got no issues whatsoever.
Well, that's unfortunate because we can't fight now.
Yeah.
Because
we can fight.
Yeah, but no, I mean really, really fight.
Yeah, we can fight.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. With experience comes wisdom, and the older we get, the wiser we get. I'd like to think.
I hope so.
And I don't feel. If I have something I'm going to say, I want to say to you, I will say it to you, and I'll say it to you between 1 and 1:30. We can go as long as you want. We can go as short as you want. Or we can bag it all together if we're pissed at each other, because that'll happen from time to time.
No, I think that makes...
It will.
Maybe, but that makes for some of the best radio, though.
You hear it as much as I hear it, and I think what people fail to recognize is while some of our differences are very stark, we park our cars in the same garage on many levels.
Yeah, I think it's true. And then maybe that's part of it, too. It's sort of like the scene in every Bond movie where Mr. Bond... You and I are not so different as you may think.
Shadowy reflection.
Yeah, of course. You guys have history.
Yeah,
you have a complicated history, and it's going to be fun to see.
I took him to his first strip bar.
I've heard the story.
He hates it when I bring that up.
Is this the one in Phoenix?
It have to be. Is that the only one we went? That's the only time we ever went.
Which one in Phoenix?
The Bourbon Street Circus,
Sure.
Thomas Road.
Yeah, the one with the
I gotcha.
Yes, that was. I don't
He's
know
still uncomfortable.
I don't know if that was my very first, but it was a circus.
Yeah.
It was. There's a lot going on in there.
And of course, he was doing metrics on it all.
Yeah.
Sullying the joy of women in butt floss. Dan Bernstein. What causes a woman to do this for a living?
I just
the
kept
absence of a trust fund, Bernsey.
I kept thinking that she's probably got a kid who's in school or needs braces.
You're being supportive then.
I get it's
Just pushing the economy along, man.
It took the fun out. He's getting 5 lap dances at a time, and I'm
At a time.
I'm
as Buck.
Yes.
I always went as Buck. I was told the girls
You
my
take a
name is
persona
Buck.
when you go to a strip club?
Absolutely. When I went to strip clubs, I haven't been to one in probably
Back when the
15
money
years.
in radio was big time, and you could have 5 at a
He
time.
would actually
right.
go as Rabbi Marvin Rosenzweig, who was the other one. It didn't go over quite as well as Buck.
Didn't quite get
Buck.
the complimentary VIP passes.
I am Buck.
So you guys did the pre-show meeting thing when you kind of stare at each other and watch Mitch bounce around in his chair?
Well, it's so strange. The only time in my short, compared to you guys, radio career that I had a pre-show meeting with a boss in the room was when I first got a full-time job in a new city, and he wanted a full rundown because he didn't trust me at all to do a show. And I was like, okay, I'm 24 years old. Maybe I need this sort of thing. I thought it was a little overbearing. But they did ask me to do pre-show meetings when I came to Chicago, so I'm a little confused why Mitch is in the room.
I love
frankly.
Mitch's pre-show meetings.
You do?
Oh, yeah. How could you? I mean, how did he start it today? You know what they say, guys. You don't get many chances to make a first impression. He said, actually, Mitch, no one ever has said that.
That's not a phrase.
Ever. That's not a phrase. He gets mad because I interrupt.
We call him out on the bad impressions and sayings and all that. But no, it's great. Like, I used to intern for this guy, and so if a little pre-show meeting comes along, it'll be fine. You got any tips for 5 hours, by the way, other than 5 Hour Energy?
Right, you're the 5 hour energy guy.
What a totally question.
You don't have coffee for that?
Yeah, hold on a second. That's the third hour of the show.
Just next segment.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Think next segment, and next thing you know, you're headed home.
All right.
Did you see Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember the advice that Matthew McConaughey's character gave to
Yes, of
young
course.
Leo DiCaprio?
Yes.
Cocaine and hookers. It's the only way to survive in this business, my friend.
Awesome.
I'm kidding.
Again, spoken from wisdom and experience.
Yeah, exactly right.
Although never simultaneously. That just wouldn't make any sense.
Oh, well, of course
that would
not.
Be wasteful
that
for
would be
me.
ridiculous.
I thought they actually did go together. I don't know. It's confusing. That's the lead now. You can explain why those things need to be separate to me, Mac.
Things don't work.
I know. I'm just
for
messing
most
with
of us.
I thought it was the
For
opposite.
most of us.
I thought it was a tumescent.
No, it's
there's a wide swath of professional.
It didn't take long to get into
other
the sort of
enhancers
details,
at
did
the
it?
same time. It's an upper in one way, but not in the other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most people don't know that.
There are some
count
guys,
me as most.
some
Count me
guys
as most.
who report amazing results that way. I was not among them.
Yeah,
I was the guy who, when it went in my pocket, I could feel myself turning.
yeah.
Or you got to sniff any.
Yeah, well, we should share stories because I think I've had one good experience out of like 10. I feel like you can maybe double me there.
How much time you got?
What did we sign
5
up
hours
for?
is plenty of time.
That is how you do 5 hours.
5 hours is plenty of time for some back in the day stories. But
What's on the docket for sports thoughts?
Football.
not much.
Football
Today.
today.
I hear you like football, man.
I like football. All the time. No, we got Tom Thayer is going to come on and talk about the Bears signings today.
Michael Lombardi is going to be on.
Your guy.
I love Michael Lombardi.
You can't quit him.
No, I can't. He has opinions on everything.
I know so many of them are wrong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I like fighting with him about his wrong opinions. And then I like that he gets called out by other people. Yeah. And then he calls out Doug Peterson. And then Doug Peterson wins the Super Bowl. So he's like just wrong in spectacular fashion.
His walk back of that was just superb.
It's great.
We'll get into it,
wonderful.
but I'm not doing handsprings and cartwheels over the Bears signings. I'm not.
They're free agent signings.
They're free agent signings. Are they radically better than they were before yesterday?
No.
I don't think so.
Quite frankly, they're guys they should have had 2 seasons ago.
I think the answer is yes, they're better.
Radically better.
No, and not relative to their competition,
Right.
like you mentioned earlier today. But I always get back to that day where we had the tableau of Julius Peppers, Chester Taylor, and Brandon
Manu
Maliuna. Yeah.
And we're like, yeah!
Oh, what a day that was.
Dumbass day that was.
Boy, Chester Taylor.
Horrible.
Awful. And it wasn't a ton of money. It was enough for him to pay off Adrian Peterson, his gambling debts that he owed him before he left Minnesota. But I think he averaged 2.1 yards per rush
Who refused to go out of bounds.
that entire season.
Who was a worse free agent?
No, you're thinking about Marion Barber.
Don't say that name.
Marion Barber
that
in the
hurt
Denver
out of
game.
bounds.
Even though he's the bruising running
That was the
back.
Denver game.
That was the
was?
Denver
Oh, that's
game.
right.
That was
right.
the Tebow game.
Yep.
If he gets out of bounds, we don't have the Tebow BS. That's why his name
that
was
was
Marion
much more
Barber
painful
for
than I
Tebow.
thought.
Should blame. He was part of it.
He was part of
Marion
it.
Barber staying or not staying in bounds
Yes.
allowed for the Tim Tebow
Absolutely true.
Jesus miracle thing.
And he never made a business decision like that, Marion Barber. Like he was known for
Right.
staying in bounds and hitting people.
It's ridiculous. But let me ask you this: worse free agent signing, Chester Taylor or Michael Bush?
Oh, God.
You're going to say Mike Glennon.
Well, no, I'm not.
Michael Bush
too
didn't
easy.
really get on the field.
Layup.
Did he even get on the field?
I don't think so. Everyone's excited about it. Well, they have the two-pronged running back. This is the trend now in the NFL. You need a couple of guys, thunder and lightning. You need a change of pace guy. He's going to be the banger in there, picking up the hard yards, picking up his fork.
Yeah, well, it's another
Nice
way
guy.
to do it. Wearing a different size jersey at the end of the season than the beginning because he actually got bigger as he worked out more.
Started one game.
He started one game.
Started one. He played in
Michael Bush. That's why we were excited.
I'm surprised
we
you-
got to hear by Cracky all the time.
Yes,
Anytime his name was invoked.
Yes, that's true.
How are they not significantly better, the Bears? I guess I don't really understand. I'm more bullish on them than most. I understand that. But they now have a number one receiver. They have a new fastest player on the team. They have a top three
Do
guy.
they really have a number one receiver? Are you that sold on this guy? 'Cause
Allen
I'm not.
Robinson is the best Bears receiver in the last 4 years easily.
Sure.
And then when he's healthy and has competent quarterback play, he was 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns with 80 catches.
That's a lot of caveats to throw on a dude that's a number one receiver. I mean,
Why?
just for sake of reference, like if you're looking at ones, there are ones. Brandon Marshall did it in a crappy situation in Miami a couple of years ago. There are other guys who have survived without those kind of. They get it done. I kind of think of it more like an ace in a starting rotation, just because you're out there opening day.
Coordinators 2 years ago too, and a coaching change.
It's curious to me at 24 why the team that drafted him, as high as they did, would be that willing to part company with him. I know it was a lot of money. I get that, and they signed Marquise Lee right after it happened yesterday too, so they're keeping him. But I just say, what do they know? Why do you part company with a 24-year-old high-round draft pick? That's always been curious.
They're
to
a
me.
running team. Their money's on defense. They're a run-first team. You can only use the franchise tag on one guy, and he is coming off an ACL injury, and the Bears signed him to a deal on an average annual basis that is below the market value of the franchise tag. Right. So he wasn't worth $16 million. He's evidently, according to this market, worth $13 or $14 million.
Yeah, I don't mind making a value buy on a guy who's got a busted leg for a season, and if that's where you make your money, then fine. Same with the Trey Burton thing. If you were able to pay a little overvalue there for a guy you think can step up into the next tier, fine. You got to do that.
Well, what do we know about him other than his fabulous touchdown pass to Nick Foles in Minneapolis at the Super Bowl?
We know that Trey Burton was behind one of the 3 best tight ends in the NFL last year, and when he played well.
But they play a lot of double tight end sets too, like everybody else.
And he's the move guy, though. We know he's not Travis Kelce. Because nobody is Travis Kelce
other than
Gronk. That's those two, and then a drop off to whoever's the third best tight end. But look, you can see what he does, and he's lived up to his college scouting report of a guy who moves well, is more athletic than you think he is faster than you think he is, smart, versatile, that it's clearly an upgrade. And I think it was Greg Gabriel was comparing him to a younger, more talented Zach Miller. A guy who does those things.
I just think they're going to upgrade. Just on the offensive side of the ball, they will have upgraded at quarterback this year because Trubisky will be better, right? Year 2 to year 1. He will improve. The coaching staff offensively will upgrade because it's impossible not to. It was the worst offensive coaching staff in the NFL last year. It is impossible for them not to be better.
Right.
They will have a number 1 wide receiver in Allen Robinson if healthy. They will get Cameron Meredith back, again, also if healthy. But that's an upgrade at receiver, plus Taylor Gabriel, plus Trey Burton. Like, just through addition, they are coming from such a bad place that they are markedly better. I don't know if they're good enough, but they are much better.
But it's like Max said, I don't know if coming up from the very bottom of the depths of the bottom is enough to do.
Well, there's things to be done defensively,
if that's not worthy of praise, like, they were at the bottom.
Or I'm not saying
so if we went into this year being like, they're still going to be the worst offense in the NFL. Like, that would be a huge problem. Like, they have made progress. Is it enough progress?
I don't know. Make the playoffs and stop sucking. And stop ruining my Sundays. Yeah. Stop ruining the last bastion that I have.
You haven't been able to enjoy this in a fun, bad kind of way?
The last bastion of meatballdom that I really have is going full Bears meatball for 3 hours every Sunday. And throwing things, and ever since the kids were really little, the impersonation of Daddy was, "What are you doing?" during Bears games, and I'm tired of it. I want it to look like regular football. I want it to look like the other games look when I turn them on, because they look different. There are people running in places with footballs, toward the end zone. And then they go there, and they jump up and down. I like that.
They have coordinated celebrations. Yeah, it's very cool. It looks fun.
Do that.
I've also heard that on highlight shows, they sometimes show spectacular plays from teams that you root for.
Right.
The Bears never really make
when it's the Bears, it's Tariq Cohen because he ran 30 yards the wrong way.
That was something, wasn't it?
Ridiculous. Even after it happened, my first thought was, oh, God, now he's going to do it again.
Don't do it again.
Right. Now, this works. I got to remember this one works.
Yeah. Congratulations, Mighty Mouse. Don't ever do that again.
Don't ever effing do it again. All right, guys. May this be the first of many.
Thanks, Burns.
Welcome back. Thanks. And it's going to be a thing.
It is going to be a thing. Thanks, guys.
That is McNeil and Parkins. They're coming up on The Score.